Gary Chapin. Never heard of him. But I feel like I've heard of the phrase cats in the cradle. Feel like I've heard of that before. But I didn't know it was a song or where it came from. So really excited about this. Since I've been doing this all day, I want to do it again. I'm sorry. The uploads have been terrible. Again, as y'all know, I got sick. And then the holiday season came, and then my schedule changed, and everything just, it's been bad. But we're going to get back on track, and I'm not even going to bore y'all with long intros and apologies. We're going to get right to work. Now, y'all know we got to do some research, because I have no idea who he is. But let's do this. He's an American, he passed away in 1981. He was an American singer, songwriter, philanthropist, and hunger activist. Best known for his folk rock and pop rock songs. He achieved worldwide success in the 1970s. Chapin, a Grammy award-winning artist and Grammy Hall of Fame inductee, has sold over 16 million copies worldwide. Went to Cornell University. No degree. Okay. Was signed to Elektra, Boardwalk, Sequel Records, DCC, Chapin Productions. Okay, I've heard of Elektra out of those record labels. I haven't heard of the other ones. Recorded a total of 11 albums from 1972 until his death in 81. Jesus. That's insane. 11 albums in 9 years? That kind of work ethic is crazy. All 14 singles that he released became hits on at least one national musical chart. Best known songs are Taxi and Cats in the Cradle. As a dedicated humanitarian, Chapin fought to end world hunger. He was a key participant in the creation of the Presidential Commission on World Hunger in 1977. Received the Congressional Gold Medal for his humanitarian work. Well, I love him already just because of that. Just because of his philanthropic efforts. I love him. Don't know nothing else about him except the fact that he appears to be a great musician, a great artist. But his philanthropic work alone makes me a fan. Okay, so we know that this is one of his signature songs. This is one of his biggest songs, Cats in the Cradle. So we're starting with the big fish. Now, it looks like this is a live performance. Y'all didn't necessarily say which one to react to, studio or live. So I just kind of clicked on the one with the most views. And it looks like this is a live performance. So excited to hear it. Let's go.
When Harry would come home from the road, he would show me new stuff that he'd been working on, and I'd show him some things that I'd been doing. And I showed him the poem for Cats in the Cradle, and he kind of pushed it aside, and he took more interest in a couple of other things that I'd been working on. And then after Joshua was born, he grabbed it and said, "Hey, I got to put music to this." So it had been written a lot earlier, but it really hit him after Joshua was born.
If it didn't happen to me so often, it would almost be awkward. But I'm used to it now because people actually want to. Because I look like my dad too. They'll want to have contact with me, put their arm on my shoulder, and really try and communicate to me how it healed their relationship with their father, or it got them closer to someone they had fallen away from. It's always amazing to me because people just almost before they even get words out, I can see a shakiness and emotion in their eyes, and the way they just kind of want to close the space between me and them when I haven't even met them before, which is a tribute to my dad.
My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking before I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, "I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you." Cats in the cradle and a silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when we'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay, and he walked away, but his smile never dimmed and said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when we'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then.
Alright, so real quick, yo, before we even get to the song, his son, Joshua, is that a real thing? He had a full hair. He had a full head of blonde hair. His hair was blonde when he was a baby. And now it's exactly like, he literally looks like a replica of his father. Just a dark brown hair. Is that a real thing? And for white people, I guess. I've never seen that before. Like, to be born with a color hair and then it completely change. I'm gonna assume they didn't dye it. Like that was a natural transition. If that's a real thing, I'm like genuinely intrigued. I want to know. I've never seen that before. That's crazy. But anyway, to the song. The first line actually hit me the hardest. He said, the boy came into this world the regular way, but he learned to walk while I was away. That was kind of, and the song is pretty much stayed on that path in regards to a father who appears to just be working, trying to provide for his family, but it requires him to be away from his family. And that's a harsh reality for a lot of men. I could honestly say I had a similar situation with my father where he worked 2 jobs and I did want him to be home. Like my father is, I feel like I've said this before, but my father is like Superman to me. Like, I love my father so much. I idolize him. You know, in that school, when you have that assignment, who's your biggest role model? I always put my father, cause it was it's just the truth, like my father's a genuine superhero. But my father, again, he worked 2 jobs and he wasn't home as much as I would have liked, and because my mother and father weren't together, I only went to my father's on the weekends. So, my father would be working a good portion of the weekend sometimes. And so, but again, my father, he's a superhero. So I definitely could relate to this song in some aspects. But I don't think we've gotten into like the deep part of this song yet. So let's see what happens.
Well, he came from college just the other day, so much like a man I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you, can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. Said I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids have the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as he hung up the phone, it occurred to me he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when we'll get together then. Dad, you know we'll have a good time there.
That's heartbreaking.
I wrote this thing for you.
It's so terrible. It's so sucky to like die like that, to die unexpectedly, prematurely. When you have so much more to give. Hate those kind of stories. But yeah. So this song is very relatable because I feel that dynamic happening now with my father. Like, so I record this the day after Thanksgiving. And it just occurred to me that I did not talk to my father yesterday. And I have yet to talk to him today. That's really bad. That's really bad. Oh wow, that it just kind of hit me. And I recently said this, thought this to myself. I said I don't talk to my father. I talk to my mother probably every day, and I probably talk to my father again, and I love my father. He's a superhero. There's nobody I idol more than my father. But I probably only talk to him maybe twice a week. And he lives probably 30 minutes from me. That's really bad. That's really rude. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. That kind of hit me a little bit. As for the song, beautiful message. Again, I said it before. Folk rock, the storytelling in folk rock, like country, is some of my favorite. Outside of hip hop, old hip hop. I mean, all genres of music. That's what it's all about, telling the story. But just the way the story's laid out in folk and country music is just so much more digestible than other genres. I guess depending on the artist, but it's very digestible in how they give the story. Again, this was literally a poem, which, by the way, so Sarah Chapin at the beginning of this, I'm gonna assume that was his wife, right? So was this, and the way that she told the story, it was so kind of like passe, but like, was that her way of saying that she wanted Harry to be home a little bit more? And Harry just kind of disregarded it, and then once they had their son, Harry kind of opened up to it, and the way that story was told, I was like, huh. Because, and again, so I'm going to assume that was normal for Sarah to help him write songs. But for her to write that, I'm just curious about the inspiration. Curious. So this is from his fourth album, Veritas and Balderdash. The single topped the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 in December 1974. It's his only number one song and became his best known of his work and a staple of folk rock music. Nominated for a Grammy and was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2011. It's cool. It was his wife, Sandra Sandy Gaston. The poem itself was inspired by the awkward relationship between her first husband. Oh, okay, so it has nothing to do with Harry. Okay, gotcha. So this is about a previous relationship of hers. Oh, now I see why Harry disregarded it. She was also inspired by a country music song she heard on the radio. It sounded country, but again, folk rock, country, they damn near the same thing to me. Chapin also said the song was about his own relationship with his son Josh, admitting, frankly, this song scares me to death. I feel like that's a thing that all fathers fear. And, you know, when me and my father hang out, after we haven't seen, honestly, and this is gonna make me a little sad, but so my father, he recently moved back close to me because he was living probably 2 hours away. He lived in a certain part of Virginia that's a little far from me. It's closer to North Carolina than it is to DC, right? That side of Virginia, the southern side of Virginia. So he lived a little while away. And so the good portion where I didn't see my father for like a couple of years. And so one day I just made a point. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go see my father. I'm going to drive down here 2 hours. It ain't bad. You know, it took, 2 days. Took one of my weekends to just go see him. And I drove down there and he was so happy. He was so happy that I just took the initiative to drive down there and see him. And, we just went down there and we went to the movies, we ate, we went shopping. Like, he was just so happy that I went down there to see him. And just something small like that, But again, in relation to the song, like, since college, I've been like, look, I gotta get this money, I gotta work, because that's what I saw my father do. I just saw my father work and work and work and work to take care of me and my brother. And so that's what I know, that's what I saw, and that's what it inspired me. It's not a bad thing when you just outside of the fact that you, again, like the song emphasizes just all the time that you miss. The time that I wanted to spend with my father and he didn't have the time because he was working. Now that the tides have turned and my father's closer to retirement and has a little bit more time to spend with me, now I'm on my grind and I'm kind of, that's a real, I'm not going to lie. Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, this got me a little bit more emotional than I thought. But that's a real thing. This is a beautiful song. Beautiful song. I don't want to get sadder, so I'm gonna let this go. But wow, this is great. Great record. Harry Chapin. Well, I'm already a fan musically and of his personal life. I'm a fan. This one song, I'm a fan. So can't wait to hear some more, man. Y'all let me know what else from Harry Chapin I should check out. But Cats in the Cradle, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that. Don't forget the 75K giveaway. And until next time, with Harry Chapin. Peace.